Happy birthday, Scorpios. Welcome to your routine RuneScope with me. My name is Amanda. As always, just a quick reminder to also check out the video for your rising sign as well, if you know it. I can give you some more information about other areas or issues that be lit up for you in Ember. Of course, the only way to get a reading only for you that applies to you, instead of, the thousands of others Scorpio and Scorpio risings that are watching this video, is to schedule one with me. I do those on Skype. It's $5 for a 3-minute session. Drop me a line at the email address in this video or below this video if you would like to set up an appointment. And let's jump into Scorpio. Hopefully you all made it through over. It was a pretty bumpy month for everyone. Let's see. Ember holds. Okay, Scorpio. Interesting. Here, let me just lay out the tarot cards and that will give us some information here. Wow, okay, Scorpio. Looks like we have some issues carrying over from and for some of you, eclipses. The eclipses may not affect you until I think that's what I'm seeing here. So if you watched and you were like, that was over, it was actually pretty tame for me. Well, it looks like some of you will be getting that eclipse energy in Ember. The challenge though really is for you in Ember, Scorpio, is there's an idea that you have and it's manifesting this idea. So, challenge just means that there are some obstacles and things we have to overcome, but that's part of the test, and things that we don't work hard for, we don't really appreciate. So Ember, you may be working very hard to bring a project, a relationship, something into fruition. You may be trying to manifest a new beginning, in some way. Some of you may be trying to start your own business, find a new job, heal a relationship, forgive someone for something so that you can move on. And it's going to be a theme that kind of carries over the whole month. For some of you, this is going to have to do with a male in your life. Now, it does not have to be a romantic relationship. This can be a friendship. This can be a family member. This can be your father. And it doesn't have to be a male, but for most of you, it is presenting as a male energy. It's just somebody who, is not putting enough effort into something. And for those of you who own your own business, maybe this is an employee, maybe this is your business partner, maybe this is your marriage partner, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your sibling, maybe your parents are older and you're all trying to, work together to look after your parents and take care of them because they're getting older, and there's somebody who is not, a sibling or someone in the family who's not pitching in, not helping out. Maybe you're working on a project and somebody's not pulling their weight. And it's making everybody kind of open for criticism from a boss or something. So that's the challenge, is to overcome these hurdles and finish a project, complete a goal. Now, as always, these energies can work both ways. So for you Scorpios who have been, maybe you feel like you don't want to make yourself vulnerable in some way. There's maybe something going on with pride. For those of you where this is not another person, it can be you kind of getting in your own way here. Wanting to move forward, but maybe you can't move forward until you swallow your pride and admit you were wrong about something or apologize. That can be particularly tough for Scorpios, because you do have a lot of pride, and you do tend to kind of hold on to resentments for a long time, Scorpio. It can be very difficult for you to forgive someone and move on. But the thing is, the only person this is hurting is you, if this is the way this is working out. Not saying the person didn't wrong you and deserve you to be upset with them. But yeah, there comes a point, sometimes people don't even know that they did anything. So maybe this person doesn't even know why you stopped talking to them or cut them out, or, because you Scorpios are also notorious for burning bridges. So, it could be that you're just like, oh, well, my absence is really hurting this person, but maybe they don't even understand what happened. So yeah, there could be an element of that where maybe you need to let this person know, look, this is what happened. This is what you did and what you said, and that's not acceptable to me. So we can either, move on from there. If you promise never to do whatever this was again, you promise never to hurt me again in this way, we can move on from there, or not. But yeah, the challenge is, Scorpio, if that's the way this scenario plays out, if it is a personal relationship, it does seem like it will be you that has to take the first step. And that is a lesson, Scorpio, you will encounter a lot in your life, because it is such a challenge for you to admit that you were wrong about something. So, and I know I'll get comments, well, it wasn't me, it was the other person. Well, even if it was, they don't care in heaven whose fault it was, really. They really don't. They don't. They understand, but again, not in the same way that we do, because they are looking at it from a perspective that is removed from the physical. And when we are there, when our souls are there, we view things in the same way when we're planning all these obstacles for ourselves. This is what I want to learn. I want to learn to put pride aside and apologize and make myself vulnerable. The help that's going to be available to you, though, Scorpio, is that if you can kind of walk through this door or manifest, work on bringing this idea into fruition. Because again, whatever this was, if it's forgiveness, if it is involving another person, you've been thinking about it a lot, or thinking about what can rectify the situation, what can help this project or this relationship move forward. That's been on your mind, probably through her. And maybe this hurt or whatever this is, if it's a relationship, happened in her. And remember, you're kind of dealing with where do we go from here? Or, if it's a work project and something's fallen through, somebody quit, or somebody, again, is not pulling their weight, you're like, we need to re-strategize. We need to rethink what we're going to do about this. Yeah, it's like something is not quite performing where you thought it would be. If it's your business, maybe it was a slow month and you're like, okay, we got to reprioritize. But it looks like those of you who have been waiting on a message from someone, that's going to be a big help to you. If those of you who have a trip planned any of you may be going home for the holidays. We do have Thanksgiving here in the States for November. So maybe you probably are planning on going home. It looks like some of you may consider putting that off just because you're not going to be in the mood, you're not going to feel like it. That's going to be a help to you. I feel like you need to be there. Maybe some of you need to be there to heal this relationship, even though it would be awkward in the beginning. Don't let seeing someone keep you away from the rest of your family, because then you kind of, again, you're hurting yourself. Those other relationships be fine. Maybe you're not the only person who feels this way about this person, and you can talk to somebody and get their input on something. But yeah, I'm seeing that you should not delay any trips that you have planned in her, because it seems like you will get a message, you will talk to someone, you will get information that will help you during travel. So those of you who have experienced delays around moving, I think that those are going to clear up in November. So trying to, if there are more delays at the beginning of November, I do feel like, things will finally be moving forward. And Mercury is finally moving forward after retrograde in November, but it does turn direct at the end of November. So that Mercury confusion cloud should be clearing up, even as early as, the first week of November. So, don't put off any rest, Scorpio. A lot of you, I feel like you need rest. And you are, coming up on your birthday, you're at the end of your energy cycle. The sun rejuvenates you when the sun goes into your sign and kind of recharges your batteries. So a lot of you be sputtering out there at the end. There's just been a lot of stress, I feel like, and you do need to take a break. So try, add on an extra day to that Thanksgiving break. If you don't have Thanksgiving where you live, definitely take a long weekend at least. Do something, even if you just stay at home and kind of veg out, read a good book or watch a movie, something where you can relax a little bit and not have to be so stressed out. Give your mind a break. That's what they're saying. Give your mind a break. Drink some chamomile tea in the evenings. Make sure you're getting enough sleep. You got to turn that mind off. But what I'm seeing is that there is a way for you to walk through a door that can change a situation, but you have to be willing to walk through the door. And it's the unknown, like what's on the other side of that door for you, Scorpios, and that's going to cause a lot of you to be like, no, hell no, I ain't opening that door. But if you do, the rewards are going to be unbelievable. And again, it may not be immediately obvious to you that this was a good idea, but it will. It's going to bring some kind of competition or some kind of struggle or conflict to an end. Scorpio, it's going to, if you felt defeated, it's going to turn that around. Now, for a lot of you, what can't be changed about her is that there may be a lot of this, for a lot of you, this has to do with job, this has to do with finances, this has to do with business. Again, maybe finances needing to be rearranged, you having to get creative with finances. Also, we are coming up on the holiday season, so you'd be a little stressed about that. Again, you got to shut your mind off, Scorpio. Ask for help from your guides and number. Hey, show me the way forward. I need to make more money. Please help me make enough money to see this through, and to, get through the holidays or to pay bills, whatever you need that for. Ask your guides to help you out and they will show you the way. It's almost like they're like, we're here waiting. Just let us know what you need. But I mean, I think that for those of you who do lose money, or if you are waiting on a job offer and it doesn't come through a number, if something falls through financially, if you have a house set and that deal falls through, you're ready to move, but then suddenly you can't, it is actually going to kind of be a blessing in disguise because it brings something to a conclusion. While it may not be what you wanted, it takes some kind of burden off of you. So let's say that you were up for a job and you were actually, the interview went really well, but it's not really something you're excited about doing. The money's good, but it's kind of maybe similar to something you've done before and you hated that job, and things like that will fall through. And while you'd be like, oh God, I was counting on that money, but at the same time, really would have hated to have to do that again. So it's something like that, a blessing in disguise, something that falls through financially, Scorpio. But it's actually a good thing. So I just want you to remember that. And somebody be, I think what they're saying here is, what if you don't get defensive? It seems like somebody be, and this could be going back to this relationship issue or family issue, however this works out for you. Or again, professional relationship, could be a coworker. It's like, somebody put you on the defensive where you feel like, you feel kind of attacked. And you have to set them straight. But what I'm saying here is that it's kind of like the more you kind of defend, and it's like, if you didn't do anything wrong, don't even bother defending it. Just say, whatever they're accusing you of or saying, just be like, well, that's not true. Anybody who knows me knows that that's not true. Because it's like, if you get really defensive about it and kind of, the more you kind of try, the more guilty you're going to look. Or it just doesn't help your case. So, and that's the thing, Scorpio, with anybody. Anybody who knows you well enough is going to know that whatever this petty accusation is not true. It's almost like somebody's trying to put the blame off on you for something, and maybe this person who's been lazy, not pulling their weight. This family member who hasn't been stepping up and helping out, this coworker, employee who hasn't been doing their job. They try to turn it around on you. Well, you weren't explicit in your instructions about what you wanted me to do. If it was an employee or, a family member, or nobody called me to tell me I should go see mom and dad, or that it was my turn to take care of mom and dad, something like that. And, and it's just hogwash. This person, whoever this is, knew exactly what they were supposed to do. They were deliberately shirking their responsibilities. And that's, sometimes Scorpios can do that too, especially in relationships. The lower types, I am talking about the lower types, but they're probably unlikely to be watching this video anyway, those lower types. Scorpios normally are very responsible people. You are normally the leaders. You are normally the one. That's why I think for most of you, this is going to be someone else. Not all of you. There are good and bad of every sign, of course. But I just feel like you're really going to have to set someone straight on what's expected of them, what the responsibilities are, what their responsibilities are. And really kind of lay it out for someone. But yeah, definitely don't put off a trip that you have planned in November, because I think it's going to be very restful for you. Definitely work in some time to celebrate your birthday, even though you're not being in a very, very celebratory mood, some of you. It's always important that we acknowledge that, even if it's privately in your own way. Light a candle, get your own little cupcake, and if you're not going out. But for most of you, I would say, go out and celebrate, definitely. Do be careful traveling, though, Scorpio. I again, don't delay any trips, but definitely kind of check all of your flights and all of that stuff. If you are flying home for the holidays, just make sure everything's on time before you leave, so you can maybe save yourself some time, because they're always delayed. It's always, 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 no matter what, there's always, oh, the pilot had fish for lunch. No, it's, whatever. Even if there's no weather, there's always an excuse as to why planes are delayed. But yeah, just check all that stuff before you take off for the airport. Make sure your car is in good working order if you are driving and traveling by car. But that is what I see Scorpio for. I'm sorry, there are still some things that looks like you are working through, but I think that is going to be a lot better for you, because Saturn's getting ready to leave your sign. I'm feeling this is kind of Saturn's last hurrah, plus that eclipse energy. A lot of heavy energy for everyone, but particularly you guys, because Saturn's kind of maybe getting that last wallop in. Make sure you learned everything that he wanted to teach you. He will be back next year for a few of you, but it's mostly those of you at the end of Scorpio. But the worst is over, honestly. No matter what occurs in her, a lot of this is going on in your mind. And, you just being very meticulous about what you want to manifest, what you want to say, how you want to handle a situation. But don't over worry yourself. Be sure to turn that mind off. Find ways to escape that. Meditate, again, sip some tea, take a nice vacation. Don't defend yourself to accusations or insinuations that are bogus. Just don't even bother. That is what I see, though. Happy birthday again, and I'll see you back here for forecast